top of the stadium, the wind is 14 to 16 miles an hour. Northwest winds. Now it's a little different down here, but something to keep an eye on.
That's why you go to the rack. If you ever play pickup ball outside on a double rim, take a lot of outside shots. You go straight to the rim.
We're underway in Kinnick Stadium with the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Depaul Blue Demons. This is a brand new Depaul team. Tons of new players on. Maddie O'Grady with the first rebound. And a whistle. Hannah Stelke will get a chance for the first point. The trivia question now has an answer. The first basketball points ever scored at Kinnick Stadium came from the hands of Hannah Stelke.
Hannah Stelke, I just love her game. She really came along last year, steadying force off the bench, 6 points, 4 boards, but was a staunch defender inside as well.
This is Peoples in the paint. You mentioned expect a bunch of shots inside today, as that's the first 2 for the visitors.
Yeah, we spoke with Lisa Bluter prior to the game, and she said, yeah, she instructed them to attack the paint a little bit more just because of the elements.
Clark with a layup. That's a familiar name for Big Ten fans. She's a transfer from Michigan. Played 14 games last year for them.
Man-to-man defense by Depaul. They're just trying to lock up, and they're trying to stay communicative, and that's another thing as well. You're outside, so you really got to let your teammates know when screens are coming or if you're going to switch.
Interesting thing, too, there's no real way for them to prepare for this. They've never done something like this. As Caitlin Clark gets her first bucket in the 50,000-plus roar.
Well, a seamless move to the rim, and you think about Caitlin Clark and her ability to knock in deep triples, but she's a 3-level scorer, and that's why she averaged 27 a game last year, second in the country in that category after leading the country her first 2 seasons with 27 a game.
Kate Martin on the drive. And draws a whistle.
It's like,
get used to it.
This is what she's going to do on the scouting report. This is what Caitlin Clark does.
It's amazing.
Can you stop it? Can you contain it? And not too many teams have been finding much success with that.
I mean, you think of the NCAA tournament when literally everyone knew she was going to explode for points. Great defenses tried to stop her, and they just couldn't. She's a special player, the likes of which we've never seen before.
Yeah, Iowa, the champions in the Big Ten tournament last year, defeating Indiana. And then, of course, making it all the way to the championship game, falling to eventual champ LSU.
Steal by Caitlin Gilbert. People's shot offline. O'Grady with another board. Couple boards for O'Grady. They expect a lot from her this year. Remember, Monica Sonano, the superstar player for Iowa for years, is gone. That bucket for Gabby Marshall will not count. It's a turnover.
This is going to be a year for her to gain some leverage and some on-court experience with bigger minutes.
How great is that camera view, huh? Starting up high, seeing all the fans panning down. Jory Allen inside, finds Peoples, who gets the friendly roll.
A nice dive down right there by Peoples, and that's what you do. When you see your post player double teamed, make a hard cut to the rim and get a good finish.
Clark tries to do that. Hand in her face from Allen. Good feed for an elbow shot, just offline.
On that read.
Had to foul on Depaul. Gilbert.
What Iowa likes to do, they like to run Caitlin Clark, who usually inbounds the ball on their out-of-bounds underneath sets. And they like to curl her off and get to the rim or get Stelke on the weak side there. In terms of production on the interior, something that she's been working on.
O'Grady trying to keep it alive. Here come the Blue Demons, holding on to a 1-point lead. Dave McErlane and Caitlin Clark pushing it up.
And Clark played underneath that screen.
And Clark's feed to O'Grady is beautiful. She spent years making that feed to Sonano. She's got new partners to feed it to this year.
Hey, the law firm is alive and well, and it's going to be a group effort on the interior.
Those law firms that just add names, right?
That's right.
The law firm of Sonano and Clark. It'll be the law firm of Clark.
And force them to contain and defend. She's still rocking that headband. We love it. It stays on, even though it's halfway on.
Let's check in with Megan McEwen. Megan?
It's definitely cold out here, Christy and Mike, in the 50s, but as Christy mentioned, when you're playing at the playground, the double rims, players right now are blowing on their hands. You have to make sure it's going to be a little harder to catch the ball because your hands are cold, but players are adapting. The benches are actually heated as you see Clark get the layup to go. It's just going to be about staying as warm as you can as long as possible.
And as Megan pointed out earlier, they do have heated benches here, just like the football team would on the road. Clark's been trying to feed her teammates all day long. That pass batted away.
Just trying to push tempo. I remember when I played ball in Italy and the stadium was freezing there. I remember having to clap my hands together on the catch. You can't really get a good grip on the basketball, and that's what you want as a shooter.
Again, Caitlin Clark, a marvelous passer, finding Sharon Goodman for two.
Caitlin Clark has soccer background, and the way she surveys and surgically places passes exactly where they need to be comes from that. She knows the angles.
DePaul Blue Demons have gone cold. They've missed 10 of their last 11.
The passes for this Iowa Hawkeyes team, they celebrate the assist numbers that were through the roof last year, led the country in that stat as a team. But she was absolutely magnificent. 57 steals and 20 blocks as well with those long arms. So she's not only an offensive threat, she's a defensive threat as well. Talk about attacking the basket, right?
Yep.
She said, well, the adrenaline in the stadium may drive Caitlin Clark to pull up some of those long triples tonight.
Hawkeyes on an 8-0 run. Will fire a deep three ball, and that's good. That's our first three-pointer after 6 misses from deep from the Blue Demons.
Sometimes you might have to put a little more gusto on those long shots.
Molly Davis driving the lane. Last year, I remember Lisa Bluter telling me, I keep telling her to shoot the ball. I want her to shoot more.
Absolutely, and she's a threat. I mean, she played about 16 minutes a game last year for Iowa. Just got in, played her role, and now in her 5th season for the Hawkeyes.
Great feed to McElwain. When the quarter comes to a close, we will be participating in what is known as the best tradition in college sports from basically the day it started back in 2017, the Iowa wave to the kids in the Children's Hospital.
So much hope in that moment. And
brief break for Caitlin Clark. Her first three is offline. You could feel the whole stadium brace to explode.
Ooh, the snatch back. And everyone waiting for that 3 ball to fall for Caitlin Clark, who is no stranger to the bottom of the net from range.
Team record. I mentioned all the special things that are
just beautiful, and that's a word that Lisa Bluter uses often.
Clark at the free throws. Guys lead 16-11. From McElwain there, but she got up just fine.
Yeah, just kind of lost her footing there. And you see Iowa, they like to play their player-to-player defense, and that's what they've started with.
Another 3 ball. This comes from the freshman Charlize O'Harry. Comes to Depaul from Las Vegas.
Well, one of the 4 true freshmen. 8 newcomers once again for Depaul. 4 transfers and 4 freshmen coming in.
She is known for, quote, doing the hard stuff with a smile. She has often watched the wave from the hospital windows during football games. Just a delightful girl. Her favorite sport is swimming. She's on the swim team. She's so excited to be here, and she's most excited that she gets to wave from down here up towards the kids, and you will see that in 3 minutes and 3 seconds. More, by the way, about Christy's story. Iowa did a great job on their website, iowahawkeyesports.com, profiling her. A special girl. 4-point lead for Iowa.
Iowa doing a good job defensively, closing gaps. 3 games over there, averaged over 110 points. a lot of great experience when you get to travel with your teammates and really build on that camaraderie after obviously making that national title game run last year and kind of keeping that good juju going throughout the summer.
And so much of this Iowa team is the same from last year. There really wasn't much room for newcomers, be it transfers or freshmen. We mentioned the two very important players, starters in Warnock and Sinano, that are gone, but the core of this team is back, headlined by Clark, who gets 2 more.
Yeah, and the Big Ten Network followed Iowa. We're going to air that on Monday at 7. The Big Trip is what it's called. And that must have been fun. I'm sure there were a lot of antics from this group that are so cohesive on and off the floor.
Kate Martin's pass a little too shy for Hannah Stuelke. Acker Lane, the mid-range. Boy, O'Grady is all over the place.
See the board work.
That's Stuelke running the floor. Quick 3-ball answer. Michelle Seedor, another Michigan transfer.
Those threes are falling for Depaul out here. Wind, no issue on that side of the floor.
Clark thought about it. Second 3-ball attempt offline. When she came out here, by the way, about an hour and a half before the game to do a little shoot around, she goes, okay, little wind here.
She did.
Nice steal for 22. Man, you can see how much Caitlin is looking to get to the bigs as often as possible.
For another sweet finish in transition for the Hawkeyes.
8 assists per game last year for Clark. Led the country. That's the thing. Say what you will about her being an amazing scorer, and she. The whole thing started with Stuelke right where she is now as a freshman. 2 years ago was the Iowa Miss Basketball.
We love the upside for Hannah Stuelke and what she's going to be able to accomplish in an Iowa Hawkeyes uniform. And Lisa Bluter and Jan Jansen, who's the post coach for Iowa, they're just so thrilled with what she's going to be able to bring. Look at her defense with that great block.
All over her on the defensive side. Threes have been falling for Depaul. That one well offline. Less than 20 seconds ago in the first quarter.
See, Iowa likes to get a high ball screen and late clock action. You see Stuelke trying to wait and get an eye from Clark to see when to set it.
Clark on the drive. 9 points for the superstar. And Iowa has a 6-point lead. The greatest tradition in sports now takes a basketball turn. The Iowa Wave.
In the action.
There's a story of when Bluter got hired. She was passed up for that job in 1995. She interviewed again in 2000. It didn't go well. She said her own, basically assessment was she was, quote, too Iowa nice. She didn't promote herself enough. So she called Dr. Grant the next day and told her that. And she said, no, you didn't, but you should. So on that call, she did. And then she got the job. And the rest is history.
How about that? Her story in our game, and it's just been so wonderful to see things come to fruition.
Clark with the steal. Iowa trying to push. Up by 10. Clark with a difficult layup and one.
She just gets her head down. She's been in the weight room. She just drives herself right there to the cup to finish nicely with contact or not.
Look at that stat line, piling up the assists and rebounds as well. Piling up. Paul has 3 different players that have 3 fouls. That was Summer Lee on the drive. Freshman from Canada hits the free throw.
Usually from Depaul, you see a lot of pressing. Haven't really seen a lot of that today, but I think because of all the new players, you want to get acclimated with how you shift and move.
Caitlin Clark, knock it off.
In the air and then drop that shot in.
Ball on the missed free throw. Cedar, one of the few transfers from Big Ten schools on this Depaul team. Stokey skies in for the rebound. We have 17 fouls on Depaul today, 4 on Iowa. 18 fouls on Depaul today. Before the game for their shoot-around, that was the only time they had any practice for shooting outdoors. Depaul was a little different. Yesterday, they practiced, they found an outdoor court here in Iowa City between 2 dorms. They said they only spent like 15 minutes on it, but they did want to spend some time.
To practice at Carver earlier this morning, Carver Hawkeye Arena, where they play their games. It was just a different look when they came out here. You could see their eyes got really big, and like you said, Clark was like, it's a little windy out here, but we're gonna make do. And I think it's just a great environment, again, to create an opportunity that no one has seen before in women's basketball.
You can see the flags at the top of the stadium. They are swirling pretty strong. Clark inbounds to a falter. We approach 80 seconds left in the first half. The crossover at Kinnick. Clark sitting on 22 points. Molly Davis. What a stutter, stop, and finish. Clark with the rebound. Clark with the assist. Not quite. Stelke misses. A falter puts it back, and there's a whistle.
It stays on. I don't know how. I keep messing with her about that.
Wait till we do Iowa, Indiana. You'll get Scalia as well, right?
I know, both of them. I need to side by side. The headband situation. (50-34) Iowa with the lead. Iowa has looked really good here in the second quarter. I mean, putting up 50 points. I just said they led the country in scoring with 87 a game last year. So still a lot of chemistry on the offensive end for Iowa for sure.
Dave Mackerlane drills it. Mackerlane's hit 2 3-pointers so far at Kinnick today. About 1 second different between the 2 clocks.
We're just going to dribble it out and get a nice final shot of this first half here. Sometimes they run a ball screen to Caitlin Clark, and sometimes she just doesn't need that, Mike.
Here's Clark trying to create. 3 seconds left. The drive. She'll head to the line. 5 rebounds and 7 assists.
That's crazy.
We have made it to the halfway point. Iowa holding on to a 15-point lead over Depaul.
How far women in athletics has come and how far we still have to go. My daughter is a junior at Georgetown, plays against Depaul in the Big East, and just to know that when she finishes her collegiate career and years down the line, what this could blossom into. So this is just the precipice of what the possibilities are for women in sports, especially basketball.
We expect to find out in a handful of minutes what the official attendance mark is and if it does become a record. Pretty sure the record's been broken. The record of 29,000 is for sure going to be gone.
It's packed in here, and the sun has popped out as well. So another part of the elements that you have to contend with.
Caitlin Clark, the 3-ball! The Unicorn strikes again! Her second 3-pointer of the day. Kate Martin, all by herself. Brady kept it alive, but popped it out of bounds, and it's Depaul ball.
27 points right now after knocking in her second triple of the afternoon. Phenomenal.
Iowa only 1 of 7 from deep today. And again, the wind is fairly strong here as Anaya Peoples hits it in. You can see the flags on the top of the stadium moving. We're told it's around 14 to 16 miles per hour. Clark offline on that shot. The ball was tipped by Gilbert.
Here's Caitlin Clark coming off, a little dribble handoff, and the catch and shoot ability off a DHO right there is pretty excellent by Caitlin Clark, the senior.
Clark curling around the lane.
Different. She's just cold-blooded.
I think she's still talking to Bluter. That's a travel.
Lisa Bluter, she is a connector. She loves to have her team sit in a circle, crisscross applesauce.
Every day they do that.
Every game, just to make sure they're all on the same page.
Lane hits a deep shot. She's hit 3 threes today.
Well, that goes back to what Megan McEwen Wallace, recently married, told us earlier today about how it's bigger than basketball, and it really is about the development of these up-and-coming in our communities.
Stonky can't get it on one end. Rebound to Kate Martin coming on back. Gabby Marshall from deep rattles out. O'Grady, the second attempt goes.
Gabby Marshall, a 38% shooter last season from 3. Started out of the gates last year a little slow, but came on strong when she needed to down the stretch in the NCAA tournament, was shooting 50% from 3 in those 6 games.
Martin strong with the left hand, and Iowa's on a roll to open up this second half.
Well, both Kate Martin and Gabby Marshall.
A brand new record, 55,646 people watching this basketball game. The all-time attendance record for women's basketball, set today. We said we'd be a part of something special. We are witnessing something special.
Oh, it's absolutely outstanding. And then when you see everyone cheering and clapping and the wave after the first quarter, I mean, all of it is all-encompassing and very special indeed.
Brady too strong with the left hand. Paul down by 19.
How cool is this?
It's incredible. I mean, just to be able to be back here, just to see the Hawk fans again, it's bringing back a lot of memories, and I'm just so proud to be an alum. Just to see where the program has gone since I've been there. You know, it's just exciting to see that the nation is out and they're supporting and they're watching, and to see what Iowa women's basketball is all about.
You were a major catalyst for this program. You had a very storied career all the way up, graduated in 2019, just finished your season with the Phoenix Mercury in the WNBA. How interesting has it been to see, though, the program continuing to rise and all of the attention it's garnered throughout the country and the world?
It's a testament to our program and our coaches and what they've instilled in the players, that it's more than just basketball. The coaches, they care about you as basketball players, but more so off the court, and that's what really drew me to them. Obviously, the crowd has also drawn me to Iowa. I'm just really happy to be a part of today and just to see where the program's gone.
Something that's unique about Iowa is they've had dominant post players throughout the years. You were one of them, Monica Sonano last year. Gian Jensen, a huge reason why this post player development is at a high level. What has she done for you in your career?
She's incredible. I love her style. It's old school, it's traditional, it's fundamental. And I think she really instilled that into me right away. And, you know, I might not have the fanciest moves, but I get the job done inside. And I was able to just learn from her. She instilled confidence in me each and every day, and efficiency was what she really worked on. And I didn't dribble much. She didn't let us dribble, but it worked out for us, and it led to be able to do what I did. So just proud, thankful, and it's really fun to see all the other post players out there.
And now you can come play in front of 55,000 fans if you wanted to.
Exactly. I think we should have every home game here.
I don't know if you forget, because you've been out in Phoenix. It's a little cold here in January, February, and March, but maybe you can run that by Coach Bluter. We'll see what she says.
Heated courts, maybe. That could help.
We'll work on it. Megan Gustafson saying we need some heated courts. We needed some games in February. Maybe a Big Ten matchup could be fun, guys.
Something worth considering, right? Depending on how successful this game has been. Clark unloads a deep one offline. Gustafson, such a great player in her career, by the way. You saw a Big Ten career leader in rebounds, 3rd all-time in the Big Ten in scoring, but she's about to be passed by Caitlin Clark. When this season starts, just 88 more points for Clark, and she will become the all-time program leader in scoring.
Oh, just phenomenal. Megan Gustafson, obviously Player of the Year. She was the Honda Player of the Year as well.
Clark with another three. Her third of the day. Stay here with Depaul.
To watch this team play, 30-point games is not anything different for Caitlin Clark. She's done that 12 times last year in just 41 games.
Elevated her stature alongside Niall Kinnick as the ultimate icon in Iowa sports history and a showstopper for the sporting public. It so perfectly talks about. Let's check in with Megan McEwen.
To that point, Christy and Mike, in this day and age with the transfer portal being the way it is, Caitlin Clark could have gone anywhere she wanted in the country after her freshman year.
Second in the country in assists her freshman. I mean, just an incredible start to an already amazing career. Here's Molly Davis.
No doubt. That headband staying stuck. Getting that steal.
Bach offline, and Depaul has it.
But people don't talk about the defense for Iowa, too. I mean, they like to mix it up. Lisa Bluter's known for going a lot of triangle and two. A lot of her defensive schemes on that side keep teams guessing, but they've showed a lot of player-to-player today, and that's what Lisa Bluter calls man-to-man defense, and you've seen them mix it up a little bit. Seen some 2-3 zone as well this afternoon.
22-point lead for the home team. Less than 4 minutes to go in the third.
You know, for as much as the game has become 5 out and extend the floor and take a high volume number of threes and get those paint threes up and in, there's a lot of work to be done down in the post. You can see in Iowa because of Jan Jensen.
The team has talked about replacing their great post player from last year in Monica Sinano, and they've basically said, it doesn't change us this year. Don't compare our centers now to Monica. 26 and 9 months.
And 9 months.
She's been with Lisa Bluter.
Tag that on. All the mommies out there. Shout out to all the mommies. We know what that is. But that's just so sweet that she's able to now be on staff with her mom. And to see her in that powerful leadership role, it must do something for her as well in terms of being proud.
It's a post player they expect a lot from this year. AJ Ediger, shot offline to the junior. Cameraman got crushed there.
87 points per contest. And when they played overseas in those 3 games, 110 points on average, but they beat teams by 68 points on average.
Another 3-ball for Iowa. First time not to come from Caitlin Clark. Taylor McCabe drills it. And McCabe comes up with the ball on the other end. The dish to Davis. The 3! Timeout, Doug Bruno. Hawkeye football team won their game yesterday. They have kept winning despite their offense struggling. They've basically lost their top 3 players on offense to injury for the year, and yet keep humming along. They're in line to win that West Division once again.
It's just fun to watch the support as well. You see some of the men's basketball players, men's basketball staff here as well.
Clark passed up the 3 to feed Stuelke. Clark sitting on 6 rebounds, along with her 32 points.
For as much as Iowa's been knocking in some threes as of late, I mean, they've had a huge advantage on the interior, scoring 46 paint points so far here this afternoon.
Caitlin Clark with the board. She's running. She's been looking to feed her young teammates in the post.
Depaul has 46 points total, and Iowa has 46 points inside. And you have to have your head on a swivel and your hands up high so you can catch them, because Clark is going to find you. I mean, her vision is uncanny.
going to be... has been getting to the free throw line today. They've shot 27 free throws, while Depaul has only shot 9.
In their quarter court sets. And now here's some of that press. It's just man-to-man, so you get it in and clear everyone out.
Depaul's Caitlin Gilbert now has 4 fouls. There are 3 Blue Demons with 4 fouls. Martin posting up. Look at that tough shot.
But Caitlin Clark said she had to do a little convincing to Kate Martin to get her to come back here, and Kate Martin wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, she is the X factor.
What will Martin's role be this year? What do they need from her if they're going to try to have similar success this season?
Thinking 2 and 3 steps ahead as the leader on the floor, especially on the defensive end.
Some pressure from Iowa. Trapping works as the shot is offline, but then Martin loses it, and a quick putback by Gilbert. Kirk Ferentz. And remember, Kirk arrived in Iowa City in 1999. Bluter arrived the year after in 2000.
You love to see the camaraderie and respect with coaches.
High energy Kate Martin. By the way, you can see the sun falling just behind the press box, so there is actually a little bit of a shadow where Caitlin Clark is moving up just on the right side where Gabby Marshall is. There is a little difference between sun and shade, like a baseball game in mid-afternoon in the summer.
Yeah, you got to get to the proper side of the floor. We used to hoop outside. You have to get to the opposite side so the sun is at your back, not in your face, so you can hit those baseline shots.
What 55,000 fans chanting in unison sounds like.
It's just spectacular. Chills, and not because of the win, but just because of the emotion of the moment. It's so beautiful.
Clark with the rebound. Closing in on triple-double numbers. Needs 2 more boards and 3 more assists for a triple-double.
Plenty of time to do it with 8.5 to go here in the 4th. And right there, Hannah Stolke just didn't get her body turned quickly enough. And defense is all about your hips and how quickly you can shift them and push off to contain that gap and contain that painted area. But right there, you can see her feet just kind of got twisted.
Allen now up to 6 points. Caitlin Clark, no. O'Grady, no. Martin with a good look. Foul on O'Grady.
Yeah, I tell you what, Caitlin Clark, she's just so surgical with her decision making, whether it's going to be for her to score or setting up her teammates to score. It's very calculated. I just love watching her think. And you don't know the final thought until after it's done, but while it's going on, you know that she understands exactly how to get the defense into distress.
The acronym of GOAT is thrown around all the time in sport. It's supposed to mean the greatest of all time, and she has a legitimate chance when her career is done to be considered that. If for nothing else, remember, she's only 811 points away from passing Kelsey Plum. If she can get that this season, she will be the all-time leading scorer in the history of college women's basketball.
And again, over 1,000 points scored last season alone. 1,055 last year for Caitlin Clark. As we've said a couple of times, 27 points a game, second in the country in scoring, first in assist. And she averaged 7 rebounds as well. So we're talking about a well-rounded ball player who understands the assignment. And not just her assignment, but the assignment that's going to be tagged to her defensively. And she just turns them into what she wants as the puppeteer.
Tanea Peoples, she's into double digits. Turnover. Well, we already had a chance to talk to one of the great players in Iowa history. Megan is now standing by with another one.
Yeah, I've got the 2020 Big Ten Player of the Year, none other than Kathleen Doyle here with us. More than 55,000 people. How cool is this?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's so good for Iowa, but for the game in general, and so happy I could come back and witness it myself.
You are one of the players, we talked to Megan Gustafson earlier, a teammate of yours formerly, but you're one of the players who got Iowa really on the map nationally. They went to the national championship game this past year. What has it been like for you watching the progress of this program?
It's so cool, especially for these coaches. They've been here and working together for so long, and they work so hard, and they're just genuinely such great people. So seeing them succeed and seeing the program just keep raising the level for Iowa, but also for the game is just so special, and I'm so proud to be a part of it.
We talked about Jan Jensen developing the post players. Lisa Bluter is one of the greatest coaches in women's basketball. She's developed you as a guard. What did she teach you that really allowed you to take your game to the next level?
She really coaches a team game, and she teaches you how to win as a team. So she just teaches you all the intangibles, and she puts you in position that to succeed as your game allows you to. So she just all around, I mean, she's one of the best to ever do it. So really lucky to have played for her.
You played point guard for her. There's another pretty good point guard on the floor right now. And Caitlin Clark, how would you describe her game and why she's been so successful here?
She's just different. Like her confidence, the way she carries herself, she knows that she's the best player on the floor when she steps out there, and it shows in how she performs and produces for us. And I'm glad she's a Hawkeye, that's for sure.
You are seeing evidence of that all over the place. This shot right here, a perfect example of how different the world is these days for women in sports.
Well, Christine Grant started it, but Lisa Bluter has galvanized the energy behind this team. And you've seen it with Kathleen Doyle and what she is saying, not just tactically about what Lisa Bluter has represented for her players, but everything else, like bigger than basketball moments as Depaul gets a triple to go. And that's why the ripple effect of what Christine Grant did in 2000 by hiring Lisa Bluter, and then Lisa Bluter continuing to pour into these young women as strong leaders of themselves first, because you can't lead anyone else until you lead yourself first. But they are leading themselves, and then as a group are leading each other as a team to success.
You look at just this sport, how attendance has risen. Just in this league, Iowa broke the conference record for attendance last year, averaging more than 11,000 people per game. Indiana broke an attendance record for their game against Purdue. Nebraska broke their attendance record last year in their game against Iowa. And of course, the national championship having 9.9 million people. That was more than watched the Sugar Bowl this past year.
It was phenomenal, and that's just what women's sports needs, and the momentum of that is carried into the WNBA. And you know, you saw Megan Gustafson played for Dallas, the Dallas Wings, the Washington Mystics, and now currently with the Phoenix Mercury. And maybe Clark could, be the next to go to the WNBA.
Meanwhile, Depaul has made a nice run. They've made 4 of their last 5 baskets and have cut the deficit down to 11 points. Allen inside, and Clark with the board.
Look at those long arms by Clark. You forget about that, and that's why she averaged 7 boards a game last year. She's easy work.
9 rebounds today. Remember, it's just an exhibition game, but both teams made it clear to us they are here to win. This is not something they're going to walk their way through. So these last few minutes could be interesting.
Absolutely. If you play pickup, you don't want to get off the court because you won't get back on. You got to stay on the court and play.
Back-to-back layups missed for Clark. There's a steal for Iowa. Sydney Afalta right there and feeds 22.
The easiest bucket Caitlin Clark will have this season. Easy money under the rim.
He wanted a foul on that last one. And she is frustrated.
Just a little bit.
Lip readers out there. Good, clean look.
Yeah, on this fine Sunday.
Nice drive by Anea Peoples. This is a different Depaul team. They are dominating this fourth quarter.
And they've applied full court pressure, and that's been the blueprint.
Gabby Marshall with a shot. We haven't heard much from her today. 3 field goal attempts before this one. All of them were misses. 3-ball stretches the lead back up to 14.
She's a striker from out there, 38% last season for Iowa from range. Caitlin Clark, they were running through their 5-on-0 sets, and Gabby missed a 3. And she's like, you're going to make those. Just as Lisa Bluter and her staff pours into the team. And you can see it trickling down to how they lead one another in that way as well.
Marshall sure did get hot. Her last 9 games of the regular season, she shot 61% from deep.
Yeah, and they needed it down the stretch. Made that run to the national title game. Defeated South Carolina in the semifinals in the Final Four and broke a 42-game win streak from South Carolina dating back to the previous season.
Stuelke inside on a possession full of great passes for the Hawkeyes. Clark with the ball.
Phenomenal read defensively, staying loose on the post and jumping around in the passing lane.
Crisp passing from the Hawkeyes. Timeout DePaul. Could be a great season for Iowa.
Well, no doubt. Listen, 14 rebounds. That's work. Those aren't just falling to her. She's getting her body on somebody, going up with 2 high hands and corralling possession after possession for Iowa, and that's why they have this lead as well.
Sun fading away.
I loved playing overseas. I played over there for 3 years. I was in Italy as well, in Castilia, and the pizza there that the Iowa players made, I'm sure was delicious. It was just a little different than here, and they were just doing their work, and you love to see that.
Let's go over to Megan McEwen.
The impact of Caitlin Clark globally is wild. I was on my honeymoon in Italy this summer. Our tour guide asked me if I knew Caitlin Clark. He had just given a tour to the University of Iowa while they were on their foreign tour trip and said, there was a girl with brown hair. All these cameras followed her. She was so famous. But it just goes to show you, people aren't talking about Clark just in the United States. They are talking about her all over the world.
What is going on here?
You're so funny. But yeah, this is a phenomenal summer for our colleague. But to know that the game has gone global that way, and a lot of WNBA players play overseas. And
there it is, an assist for Clark and a triple-double outside. It's been said before, but what can't Caitlin Clark do? Approaching 90 seconds left here in Kinnick Stadium. A scare from DePaul at the beginning of the fourth quarter has been brilliantly answered by the Hawkeyes as they are piling on the points.
23 assists on 35 made shots for Iowa, and their connectivity is just palpable. They are just on a string on both sides of the floor.
Martin. 2 more, the feed from Feuerbach. Couple new Hawkeye players in. Number 13, Kenise Johnson. She's a freshman. You also see 23, Jada Jimfy in. She's a sophomore from in-state. What a special day on what is expected to be a special season for the Big Ten. It feels like every year we say the bar has been raised in this conference.
No question about it. I mean, the leverage from last year's run of 7 teams going to the NCAA tournament, and then 3 of them setting a record for Big Ten women's basketball and making it all the way to the Elite 8, and of course, Iowa going to the Final Four for the first time since 2015 for a Big Ten team, and to the championship game for the first time since 2005 when Michigan State did it. It's just outstanding in terms of the depth and strength of this conference, and it's going to be fun to watch unfold. Bringing back a lot of players, 4 starters return for them, so it's going to be fun to watch unfold. And then Maryland with 9 new players last season going all the way to the Elite 8. Cheyenne Sellers ready to make a breakout season there. And Mackenzie Holmes at Indiana. I mean, you just go down the list. I think it's 10 of 11 of the players in the conference return.
(94-72) your final. Iowa wins the crossover at Kinnick. And it turns out you don't need a roof to watch some great Iowa basketball.
First of all, I don't like the wind, so I'm glad we play an indoor sport, but I think that just speaks to our university, our administration, but more so women's basketball in general. You know, they love women's basketball, they support it. You know, they brave the cold, the wind, and they're here supporting us. And, you know, I'm just really thankful to be in a place like this that really backs women's sports as a whole.
Despite the wind, the cold, the sun in your eyes at times, she still managed to get a triple-double with 11 rebounds and 11 assists in addition to more than 30 points. I mean, what were you seeing from your teammates today that allowed you to have that type of success?
I thought our transition offense was really good when we rebounded the ball and played solid defense. Obviously, our starting lineup's a little bit different. I still feel like we're getting kind of comfortable with the people that we're putting on the floor, but overall, I thought it was really good. It's always fun to get out here, put your uniform on for the first time, and play with the girls. So I thought it was great. I thought people played really well. Hannah Stolke, I thought Addie was good. Molly Davis was really good. So it was fun to see everybody get in the game and really enjoy this experience.
I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that made this day so special for the University of Iowa, the state of Iowa, and our women's basketball program. Nowhere in the country could this happen except for at the University of Iowa. All of you were a part of history today. Thank you. I want to give a special shout out to our administration, our facilities people, our ticketing people, our unbelievable band, the cheer squad, the dance team. You are all a part of this. But most importantly, every single fan. God bless you.